JazzGuitarLessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher on Let's Suffer Through the Modes of Melodic and Harmonic Minor Together.
Welcome to Jazz Guitar Lessons, where we help guitarists learn jazz faster, express themselves more fluently, and have fun along the way. My name is Mark, and if you're looking to learn jazz, form better practice habits, and especially if you enjoy a French accent, make sure to subscribe.
All right, so this is more of a lesson podcast, and this one will be, sorry, you probably heard that as I turn on my chair. I have guitar in hand, so it's rare. Seldom will I use the guitar in the podcast, but this is an exception because, well, I want intermediate and advanced players to get a little kick in the nuts today, and we'll be looking at the melodic minor modes from C and harmonic minor modes from C, so meaning you all know the C major stuff, C major 7, going to D minor 7, and E minor 7, etc. But when we start to examine melodic minor, harmonic minor, I realize in my own private teaching that there's a lot of holes there's a lot of gaps in my students' knowledge of the minor stuff. So that's what I want us to do right now. So if you have the habit of listening to this podcast on the subway, on the bus, or while driving, well, this is not for you. You want to have guitar in hand, perhaps pen and paper, because this is not a lesson for which you have PDF. It's just an audio lesson, and you'll gain tons of perspective out of this. Note before we begin, there's a book by Barry Galbraith, Galbraith, Galbraith. It's volume 2, and he has studies in harmonic minor and melodic minors in several keys. So they're pieces of music pre-written in minor keys to get you used to the sound of these things, the arpeggios, the chords, etc. So this is highly recommended, but it's kind of hard, to dig into reading these studies. So let's start gently today. The starting point is one of the big 5 chords that I call on the website. So C major 7, here as, which is 3, 5, 4, 5. And we'll ascend the C major scale, all the diatonic chords on the same set of strings. Those are dropped too. So D minor 7, bar and bar 5, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, A minor 7, B minor 7 flat 5 to C major 7, and back down. Right, you can find this on the website. In fact, there's an exercise called the Big 5 chords. And this is the first staff, so the first of the 5 of the big 5. Now, of course, you probably already know that if you play C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and you start playing on D, so people would say, well, you're in D Dorian, right? This is the sound you're using, and etc. for each and every note of the C major scale. So if you start the C major scale on E, it's called E Phrygian. Right, but I'm not using any other notes than what's in C major scale, in fact, but it's what we call a mode. Now in this podcast, I want to address quickly, not take like half an hour of your time, but still, I want to address all the modes of melodic minor and harmonic minor. So let's get going. What is melodic minor? Well, forget about that classical ascending and descending format. All we want to do in harmonic minor in this case is, sorry, hold on, technical adjustment, closer to the mic like this. What we want to do is take C, D, E, F, G, A, B, our good old major scale, and flat the E note. So all we have to do is play C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B, C. Once again, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B, C. This means that we are only altering one note, but to the major scale. So we get melodic minor, but the consequences are really big. So we have 7 new modes and 7 new chords that are not all different, but somewhat different. But the texture and the sound of it is really different. So check this out. C major 7 chord. So I want you to do the legwork on this on your own, to do the intellectual work. So is there an E note here? C, G, B, E. Yes, that's an E note. So we take it down to an E flat. Okay. So we're left with a chord. So the first chord, instead of being, it's called C minor, major 7. So C minor major 7. Right? This is the James Bond chord. Right? So yeah, that's it. So C, no, sorry, here. That's a James Bond chord. So we'll get back to that. So anyways, the first chord in C melodic minor is totally different than the major chord, so let's move on and see if the next chord is different. So D minor 7. Ask yourself, does it contain an E note? No, it doesn't. So it's remaining the same, right? Then let's look at the next chord, E minor 7. Does it contain an E note? Well, duh. E is the root, so we cannot keep this. We need to do do, and keep the top note the same with this. So we get this. You may take a second to figure this one out with your fingers. So the fingering is this. Big string X, so no note. Fifth string 6, 9, 3, 8. 6, 9, 3, 8. All right. So this is an E flat chord. It's an E flat major 7, like this, with a raised fifth. So we call it E flat major 7 sharp 5, right? So back from the beginning, C minor major 7, D minor 7, E flat major 7 sharp 5. Cool. Next chord starts with an F root. So if we were in C major, we would get an F major 7, this guy. Is there an E note in there? Yes, there is. Da-da-da, right there on the third string. So we want da-da. And we have F7. Oh, good old F7. From the beginning, C minor major 7, D minor 7, E flat major 7 sharp 5, F7. Next chord is G7. Does not contain an E note. We don't even need to check. Next chord, A minor 7. Does it contain an E note? Yes, right here. So we get A minor 7 flat 5, followed by B minor 7 flat 5 again, and back to C minor major 7. Got all of this down now? Okay, so let's look at it again. C minor major 7, D minor 7, E flat major 7 sharp 5, F7, G7, A minor 7 flat 5, B minor 7 flat 5, C minor major 7 again, and back down. Sorry, played a major 7 there.
Hey guys, just a quick note. If you're enjoying this content and you're eager to boost your own jazz guitar playing, then connect with us. We've transformed the jazz skills of thousands of guitarists. You can find a link in the description or head directly over to jazzguitarlessons.net to begin your journey. All right, let's dive back into the episode.
So you see, not everything has changed, but one of the interesting characteristics of C melodic minor is that there's an F7 followed by a G7 side by side, and then you have A minor 7 flat 5 followed by B minor 7 flat 5 side by side. That's quite interesting, I find. All right, so we won't get into too much details now because you'll fall asleep, but you may notice that the F7, that F chord, is a common sound. It's F7 sharp 11. You hear this in Thelonious Monk songs a lot. And the G7 too is this special chord for which there's an E flat, so it's G7 13, flat 13, flat 13. So there's a lot of little things you find in melodic minor that you're like, oh wow, I get new sounds and things that is not diatonic. It's not diatonic to the major scale, but it's diatonic to melodic minor. And I think, anyways, it's my opinion in the theory of things that once you start analyzing things, you realize, is it from the major scale, melodic minor scale, or harmonic minor scale? And it constitutes 99% of all the songs we know. Never mind trying to play a major 7 sharp 5 just for no reason. Say, oh, major 7 sharp 5 is here. It's in melodic minor, right? So it relates to something we already know. So now, before I let you go, let's do the exact same process in the key of C harmonic minor. What is harmonic minor? Well, we start with C major, and we flat the E, and we flat the A. So basically, it's 2 notes away from the major scale, and it's 1 note away from melodic minor. So C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B, and C, and back down. Cool. Let's go through all the chords, but quickly this time, because now you know. What you have to look at is, I know all my C major chords. Is there an E in the chord? Yes, change it to an E flat. Is there an A in the chord? Yes, change it to an E flat. If neither of these notes are present, and believe me, they will be present everywhere, all you have to do is just keep the same chord from C major. All right, so C major 7 becomes C minor major 7 again. D minor 7 becomes D minor 7 flat 5. So C major 7, C minor major 7 to D minor 7 flat 5. Third chord is still that E flat major 7 sharp 5. Next chord is F minor 7 because of that A flat, A flat on top. Next chord is G7. We need a G7. We need a 5 chord to be a dominant in any key. That's just a thing. The A flat, now it's not A anymore, it's A flat major 7, pure major 7. It's beautiful. And the B chord, well, guess what? It used to be minor 7 flat 5. Now it is fully diminished. Diminished 7. And back to C minor major 7. And back down. So there's such a pretty thing in harmonic minor. I can't put my finger on it, but it's really nice, especially this part. That's F minor 7, G to A flat major 7. All right, so let's go back to the beginning and restate these chords. Maybe you take pen and paper, practice them, and you'll see where we're going. So C minor major 7, D minor 7 flat 5, E flat major 7 sharp 5, F minor 7, G7, A flat major 7, B diminished 7, and C minor major 7. Cool, and back down. Cool. Now, if you want to use a shortcut to play on D minor 7 flat 5 to G7 to C minor, you know what you do. You do this. You use C harmonic minor all the way, so it gives right. It gives all these pretty notes and all these or whatever. You know, there's all these things in melodic minor, harmonic minor that is so beautiful, it is so natural, but unfortunately we only have about, 15, 20, 25% of songs that are in minor key, so we kind of study them less than we should. So that's it for this podcast number 31. I hope this helps. Of course, feel free to send me your questions by email or to comment on this podcast. Share the word, of course, if you like it. Share it with your friends on social media. So once again, I'm Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Take care.